Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad to see you all here today. My name is Ramiro Nava. I am the Education USA advisor based in Monterrey. I'm also joined by my colleague, Ana Lucia. She's the Education USA advisor in Hermosillo. And we're also joined by our colleague, Catherine Maffa. She is the intern in Education USA in Monterrey. She will be with us for 2 months and a half, and we're so happy to have her in our meeting. Today we're going to be guiding you through a session that is extremely important for your future educational journey. So today we're going to talk about something that could have a major impact on your admissions process and even influence where you will be living or studying over the next few years. So it's interviews with university representatives from the United States. So the session, it's called, as you see, Get Ready for Interviews. And it is designed specifically for you, our scholars, our Opportunity Fund scholars. So the purpose is to give you the knowledge, the tools, also the confidence to make the most out of your interactions with US university reps. So because, here's the thing, there are not just, these interviews are not going to be just like casual chats. These interviews are your chance to, to shine, to ask smart and thoughtful questions, and also to build meaningful connections that could help shape your future. So I'm going to go over to the agenda. So what can you expect from today's session? By the end of this hour session, you will understand first the real importance and purpose of university interviews. Also, know how to present yourself professionally and also to make a positive and lasting impression. Also, you will be able to ask smart, relevant questions that show your interest and also your preparation. You will learn how to demonstrate that you're a strong, focused applicant who knows what they want. And most importantly, you will understand how to use the information from universities to improve your application strategy. So, like I said, this is not just about preparing for one meeting, it's about becoming a better communicator and a more strategic applicant. Okay. So, with that being said, let's start with a big question. Why are these interviews so important? There are three main reasons. First off, because they allow you to present more than just your grades or test scores. So think about the interview as your window into your personality, your motivations, and your potential. It's it is a space where you can talk about your passion, your goals, and your story. So this is called personal branding. So try to communicate who you are and what you stand for. Also, in the second bullet point, you will have the chance to be real, inside of the information that you will get. So a university website can only tell you a lot of information about what the university is about. So during an interview, you can ask about scholarships, research opportunities, or campus life. So in an interview, you can go beyond the brochure and, you can learn what the life is really like at the university. Also, interviews help you build relationships. Like I said before, university representatives talk to hundreds of students, but if you make a great impression, for sure they will remember you, and that connection can matter. And a good conversation could influence your impression of your application or help you get more guidance later. Um, and here's something to remember, and this is very, very important. The fact that the university representatives agreed to meet with you already shows that they are interested, you know? So don't be intimidated. Instead, I recommend you to be ready to show them who you are and what you can bring to the table. Okay? So, with that being said, this is something that you always need to remember, which is preparation. Preparation is the key to success. Maybe you can, I mean, you have heard about the word preparation before, but let's talk about something that can make or break an interview in terms of preparation. So preparation is not just an interview, um, or it's not about, reviewing your resume. It's about a deep and thoughtful process that can show you, I mean, that can show that you respect the university's time and that you are serious about your goals. So there are two major parts to preparation. The first one is the institutional research. I mean, that means that you have to do your job. You need to research ahead before, having your interview, and also your personal readiness. Okay. So I'm going to explain that in the next slide. So first, let's talk about the institutional research. So before you meet with any university representative, you need to ask yourself first, what do I already know about this university? What else do I want to know? So go beyond the homepage, So try to look into like your program of interest as the university representative. Like what's unique about this program, or what's unique about their programs? Also think about the faculty. Ask yourself, like, are there professors whose work aligns with your research interests? Also think about the campus culture, that is also important. Ask yourself, is it collaborative or competitive? You know, opportunities on campus, or am I going to be living in an urban or a rural area? Does that count to me? Also think about financial aid. So think about, like, do they offer scholarships for international students? So the more you know going in, the more confident and interesting you will seem in the conversation. So think about those questions before you set up the meeting with the representative, and that will help you understand a little bit about the university. Also, in terms of the personal readiness, this is very important. You should be able to clearly answer questions like, what are my academic and career goals? It's really, really important. Or why do I want to study in the United States? Another question would be like, what am I looking for in a university? So try to prepare, and this is our recommendation, a short and engaging self-introduction. We call it elevator pitch. So think of it as a 30-second summary that can include your name, your current academic level, your area of interest, also a quick mention that you are part of the Opportunity Funds program. Also, what you're hoping to learn from the university. So, with that being said, try also to prepare yourself in a professional way. Um, what I mean with this is that because if you prepare yourself in a professional way, it would let the admissions committee, I mean, not the admissions committee, but the representatives, that the way that you show up matters. Okay, so whether it's an important or it's an in-person fair, I mean, or a Zoom video call, try to dress up properly. You don't need a suit, but try to wear, something clean, something respectful, something neat. Try to be punctual, so try to arrive at least 5 to 3 minutes earlier. Also try to speak clearly and respectfully. I recommend you to avoid slang. Also try to, make eye contact. I don't want you to be looking all over or like you're not paying attention. Try to, make that connection to the representative. Also smile. That's also important. And also try to keep your tone warm and polite. And also, I recommend you to always thank the representative for their time. That's also very important. And don't forget about, cultural awareness. A small gesture of kindness and respect can go a long way. So show gratitude, okay? Also, I have many students that ask, why should I talk about in an interview, Ramiro? This is so complicated. Well, don't worry. The best interviews are a two-way conversation. It's not a monologue. So bring questions. So bring your prepared questions. So I will give you some examples about what should you ask to the university representative. So the first question in terms of the academic programs would be like, what are the unique strengths of your programs? Also, you can ask, what are the research or internship opportunities for undergraduates? That could be an example. In terms of financial aid, you can ask, what type of funding or scholarships are available to international students? For example, for graduate students, you can um, ask, are there teaching or research assistantships? In terms, for example, a student life, you can also ask, like, how does the university support international students, or what is the student community look like, or are there on-campus jobs or volunteering opportunities? So try to ask those thoughtful questions that show maturity and also curiosity. Um, and also try to demonstrate focus and fit. What that means is one of the best ways to impress a university representative is to show that you've done your homework. So try to mention specific programs. If you have information about professors, that can also help you, or some initiatives that align with your goals. Also try to explain why their university is a good fit, not just like a school, Also try to ask um, a follow-up question that build on what they say. That's also very important because that means that you are actively listening to what they're saying. Also, you want to make them feel like you're not just sending the same application to, a lot of universities. Here you need to make sure that you can convince them that you're looking for a meaningful match, okay? And that you have found potential in their institution, okay? So also, um, let's dive into some action. Um, Now that we have talked about, theory, let's put it into a practice. So let's work on introductions. A good introduction gives the representatives um, an immediate sense of what you are and what you are aiming for. So there's some the structured ways to follow. So first off, start with your name and your academic background. Also try to mention your field of interest and degree level. Like you said, mention to the representatives that you are part of the Opportunity Funds program, and try to end with a clear and genuine reason for your interest in that university. An example could be like, hi, my name is Ramiro Nava. I am in my final year of high school in Mexico, and I plan to study environmental science at the undergraduate level. So as an opportunity fund scholar, I am, passionate about, climate change and sustainability, and I am looking for programs that offer hands-on research. I am, really excited to learn more about how your university supports international students and sustainability initiatives on campus. So that could be like an introduction. So you can take that example, and you know, let's take a few minutes now to, I mean, for each one of you to write a draft of your introduction and try to leave them on the chat. For sure, we're gonna read them all at the very end of this presentation. But think about a good way for you to introduce yourselves. You also created a third person introduction for the Opportunity Funds website. I mean, the portal that we're going to use to send your information to the university. So try to use that information that you already sent us, and think about a good introduction for your interviews. Also, it's very important about the engagement and the strategy. So during the interview, uh, make it as a conversation, like I said at the very beginning of the presentation. There's a lot of tips to start, engaging with a representative. First off, I recommend you to take notes if possible, that will help you remember all of the things that they're sharing with you. Also ask follow-up questions like, oh, that's interesting. Can you tell me more about that program? Or try to ask other type of questions like, well, I don't have one in mind, but I mean that was the one that came to my mind. But don't be afraid to show your excitement, Also, this, small actions show that you are present, that you are engaged, and that you are also like enthusiastic, that you are willing to know more about them. Um, so there are a lot of best practices. So in the interview, I mean, the interview doesn't end with the Zoom call is over. So, after each interview, you should always write down your takeaways. So what stood out about the university? Oh, sorry. What stood I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat the question again. What stood out about the university? Also, send a thank you email. That's also really important. It can be short, but sincere. You know, like I said, you need to show gratitude. Also, compare schools. Now that you have information, try to think about which ones really align with your goals and also your values. Um, and another thing that I can recommend you is to use what you learned. Try to, if you are interested in that university, and if you really want to apply, try to personalize your essays, try to improve your next interviews, and also try to refine your application lists. So you're still on time. You don't know if the university that is going to host the interview will be your next home. So try to use everything you learn throughout the interview. So there are a lot of best practices. So first off, your homework is to practice your introduction out loud. So you can listen to yourself, you can listen to what you're saying. Also try to keep a spreadsheet of all the universities contacts. That's also really important. Remember that you will not be able to only um, schedule one meeting. You will be able to schedule as many as you want, I mean, with different representatives. But also have a spreadsheet, because with the information that we're gonna be, doing our research, I mean, as we're doing our research, we will have a lot of information on our minds. So, try to keep a spreadsheet so we can, ask interesting questions about the programs that we are trying to know more about. Also, another best practice to keep in mind is to be respectful and professional in every interaction. Sometimes you will hear from a lot of representatives that they don't have full funding programs. and maybe that can cause you like some impressions. So just try to be calm, try to be respectful and also professional. Um, and that will help you, get that information and process it, and you can later on have a decision if that institution can help you out. And last but not least, remember to be confident. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you need to be arrogant, which is like the opposite. Try to be confident on what you want. Try to express what you're intending to do, just not only at their institution, you know, when you graduate, what will happen? What are my projects? Try to be confident in that and try to transmit that information in throughout the whole interview. And remember that every interview is going to be, the stepping stone toward your future. Okay. So, with that being said, so that those are my final thoughts. So this is the perfect time for you to open up the mic or to raise your hand um, and ask some questions. Also, Catherine Maffa is here, so she can also help us um, answer some questions. I mean, with her experience and with her interviews with different universities she applied to as well. So you can raise your hand or you can leave the questions um, on the chat. And remember that there are no right and wrong questions. They're just questions, okay? So I just want to hear from you. No one? The question could be also in Spanish if you want to. I mean, I want to make you feel comfortable. Um, okay. Have Alejandra Rodriguez?
Yes, yes. I do have a question, actually. I was wondering if you already shared with us the list of universities that are going to be part of the interviewing days. Because I
Yeah,
was looking for that, but I didn't find anything. So, because you said that we need to do some investigation, some research prior the interviewing days.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very good question. Next week, we're going to send you the list of universities that will be part of this interviewing days. Be patient. I can guarantee that very early in the morning, I mean on Monday, you will receive that information. So you can do your research. So you will have, let me give you the specific dates. From August 12th to August 23rd to arrange the meetings with the representatives. Okay? So you will
I'm
have plenty
sorry.
time.
Can I have an interview with all the universities that participate in this event,
Yeah,
or
you can have as many interviews as I mean, as you want. My recommendation is first to do your research to see if the
yes?
program that you're looking for is that university. And if so, you can, schedule a meeting with them. Do not schedule meetings if the program does not exist in the university. Okay? So that's very, very important. But you can, if all of the universities that are on our list offer the program that you're looking for, it's okay if you interview with all of them. But you have 1 week, okay, to do that. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed throughout the process. So choose wisely, okay?
Yes, thank you, Ramiro. And one final question, because this is something that happened to me. I don't know if it happened to others, but well, I studied cybersecurity engineering, and I'm applying for a master's in cybersecurity engineering again. The problem with this kind of major is that quite often the programs are only online. And I don't know if you can answer me this question because I tried to contact with some advisors, but I couldn't. But what happens if some universities only have the programs in an online uh,
Setting, yeah.
implementation, right? Like, I mean, I understand like the idea of this program is to go to the United States and be there and study there on campus.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then for the nature of my major, most of these programs are online. Yes.
That's a very good question. Well, the aim of the program is for you to go to a university, I mean, in person. But that question will be for our coordinators. Maybe they can, guide you throughout what you can do, and what you can't as well. So, I don't know if you have her emails already, but there is an email that we use to send information about questions about the program. Um, Anna, do you remember? Anna Lucia, do you remember the the um, the email address? I completely forgot about the user.
For Mariana and Cristina.
Yes, they do
Mhm.
have like an opportunity funds email.
Sure, I can look for it and I'll put it in the chat. Okay.
Okay, thank you. But don't
Thank you very
worry, I mean
much.
that's a question that can be answered on my end, but I mean um Mariana and Christy can help you out with that. Okay? So now let's go over with Maricruz Diaz.
Thank you. I don't know if this is part of interviewing days, but last week I received a Gmail from University of Illinois saying that they would like to have have me to have a meeting with the program coordinator for graduate studies. So I don't know if that's part of interviewing days or it's like a completely different thing.
No, it's a completely different thing. Up the interviewing days, all the information will be sent over to the representatives, but they are not gonna contact you. You are the ones that are gonna contact them. So I think that that's a different process. If they have, shown interest about um your profile, I think you should reply to them. But I mean, that's not part of the interviewing day session.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now let's go with Jesus.
Yeah, hi, Ramiro. Thank you very much for the information. I have a question related to interviewing days, and I would like to know if in one day I can book more than one interview, or
Yeah.
if that is common, or it is usually one interview per day.
Well, let me be clear about this. You will be receiving an email from me next week, and I will give you the instructions about how to set up the meetings with the representatives. The university representatives send it to us, the links where you can schedule your meetings. Okay? So you need to click on the link that they send, and you will see their availability.
Okay.
The only thing that you have to do is to choose, you know, whatever, hour throughout the day, and that's the way you can start, building your agenda throughout the whole
Okay.
week from the 25th to the 29th.
Yeah. Okay. It's clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Marlon.
Hello, Ramiro. Hello, good afternoon. I have a question for Catherine. Hi, Catherine and Marlon. I would like to ask you a question about your process about the University of Chicago. I would like to ask you what was the most difficult part of your application process? How was your experience? I would like to know. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, thank you. So University of Chicago for the undergrad, they don't have any interviews, so I didn't have to do an interview for it. But I think the most, I wouldn't say hardest, but the most time consuming and the part that you have to put a lot of effort in is essays, definitely, because that's where you shine beyond your statistics and what your teachers think about you. It's about yourself. And I think it's probably the most, in my opinion, the most important part of your application is this is your essays. And also Chicago has this fun, like quirky supplementary essay, which is mandatory, where you can write about anything from like why I can be a superhero. They have different prompts every year, which is interesting and was very fun to write about. But yeah.
And a question related to it, how much time did you spend on writing and revising your essays?
Um, the first one, the personal statement, probably about a month of writing and then someone looking at it and being like, no, it's not, it doesn't make sense, and then rewriting and a lot of writing and rewriting. But I feel like once I had it down to like, once I had it done, as in it made sense, just the editing of like grammar and stuff, it was easy. But yeah, it takes a lot of time and you have to give yourself a lot of time to write those essays because yeah, it's harder than you think. It's probably hard to condense who you are in like 600 words, obviously.
Thank you so much.
Hey guys, we're still having time for more questions.
There are questions in the chat.
Okay.
There's a question from Ivanka. She wants to know how long the interviews usually last.
Well, it depends on the university. It could be 10 minutes, it could be 20 minutes, it could be an hour. It depends on their availability of the university. Like I said, they will send the link and you will see how much the interview will last. But usually they last approximately between like 10 to 15 minutes.
And Yasmin wants to know if they're going to choose the universities from the list or they're going to choose, or are the universities going to choose them for the interviews? I think you've already answered this.
Yes. Remember that you're going to be the ones that will show presence. So you need to just choose wisely with the universities that we're going to send over to you. Okay. So any more questions? No? Well, I wish you the best of luck with this process. Remember that this is a unique opportunity for you to, expand your options. Also, our coordinator from Opportunity Funds, Mariana, she got her, five institutions in her list. But she realized that with interviewing days, it was like a platform for her to, look for more, universities. And she found out a university where she ended up being studying. So um, interviewing days could be the platform. So make the most out of it. Um, this opportunity is unique because any of the students that want to study in the United States have interviews with the universities prior, getting an acceptance letter. So this is something unique. Okay. Um, so if we don't have more questions, that means that we did a very good job. And if you do have more questions, please email to me. I'm gonna write my email on the chat. A minute. So that's my email. You can send me all of your questions, and I will be more than glad to answer them. And well, enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the interviewing days. And we're going to be sending you more emails about how you're going to report your interviews, okay? So read your emails. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. See
Thank you,
you.
grantees.
Thank you.
Bye.
See
Thank
you.
you.
Muchas
Bye.
gracias.
You.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.